sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and can even keep you from getting the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS.
One concept that is absolutely crucial for your success in sales is the understanding that some will, some won't. So what? Who's next? Some will buy from you, some won't. So what? Who's the next person you need to be talking to? And the reason you need to understand this, right, is that you're not the right fit for everybody. And if you walk into every single sale thinking, this is going to be the one, this is going to be the one, this is going to be the one, you're going to have your heart broken time after time after time. You have to separate yourself emotionally from this deal right in front of you. Here's what it means, right? You talk to somebody today and they're not ready to talk to you. They're not in the market. They're not going to buy. They don't have the money. They don't like you. They're buying from somebody else, whatever that is. Or let's pretend you're in a sales call and somebody's acting like a complete jackass, right? And you're sitting there thinking, oh my God, I need to get these people to buy from me. Bullshit. Some people are not the right fit for you. As a matter of fact, most people aren't the right fit for you right now. And so I want us to take the emotional attachment away and recognize that most people aren't going to be the right fit. Some will, some won't. So what? Who's next? Maybe they don't have the money. Maybe they don't have a reason to switch. Maybe they like the other guy. Maybe they have to have cheapest. Maybe they don't use your stuff anymore. Maybe they got a better idea, or maybe they're perfectly happy with their shittier idea. There are two reasons people struggle with this. I know at least one of you out there saying now, well, we can't do that because there are only 5 customers in the whole world that we sell to. We can't say some will, some won't. So what? Who's next? Bullshit. Here's what I'm talking about. Not every project's the right one for you. Not everything they send you do you have to bid on, beg for, jump over hoops to get. There'll be plenty that you should not waste your bullets on. Don't waste your time. Be honest up front with yourself. It's not personal to you. And if a deal goes away, didn't go your way, here's what I want you to think. Okay, some will, some won't. So what? Who's next? 2 reasons people struggle with this. One is a scarcity mentality. They're desperately afraid that if I lose this one, there won't be another one. There's just nothing there. Oh, what am I going to do? Right? I've spent way too much time on this thing. And now if this doesn't close, I'm dead. Right? That is such a false belief. I want you to understand that there's tons of prospects out there. Imagine if you had, 20 meetings set up with prospects who you had qualified and you were getting ready to show them what it is that you do to solve the problem, right? And you hadn't been able to disqualify them. They're qualified to receive your information. You got 20 meetings showing up in the row in the next 10 days. And one person starts to waver, to crack. They're not really sure. They're not certain they want to do this or not. Are you going to worry about it? Shit, no, you're not going to worry about it. You're like, okay, great. That's good. Move on. I got 20 more, 19 more, whatever. Your pipeline is your lifeline. The more business you have coming up, the more prospect meetings you have coming up, the more brave you can be. So some of the scarcity mentality is, hell, I don't know. Maybe it's real. Maybe you got no pipeline. And then it really sucks when one goes away. That's exactly right. It sucks. But some of it is just not to believe there are enough people in the world to buy your stuff. Chances are there are thousands of people who could be prospects for you, even in your territory that seems way too small. And remember, this is not forever. It just means that right now it's not the right fit. So we got to get over ourselves here, right? This is not our only shot. Unless you're a jackass, you're going to go back to these people time and time again. And maybe then it'll be the right time. The second reason people struggle with some will, some won't, so what, who's next, is their need for approval. Now, a lot of this is embedded in us from an early age as kids. When our parents said, it's good to have friends. More friends are better than fewer friends. Be nice, little Johnny, all that kind of stuff. And wanting people to like you is perfectly normal. We talk around here, we laugh about the 20, 40, 60 rule. The way you measure success through your, till you get out of college probably is how many friends do you have? More friends, more better, right? That's the way we measure it. And then you get out of school and you start working and you realize I don't have time for all those people anyway. And, so you have to kind of cut back. But it's weird because you go into sales. Oh my God, people go into sales for all the wrong reasons. Like number one, somebody has told you, oh, you've got 1 million friends. You can talk to anybody. You should go into sales. Terrible reason to go into sales. You'll be so disappointed. You will learn to hate people. Right? Don't go into sales because you can talk to anybody and have lots of friends. That's because here's the thing. Sales ain't about talking and it ain't about making friends. Because it's funny. The people that on one hand will say, oh, it's just go out and make friends. Go build relationships with people. They equate that with making friends. It's not the same. But imagine, right? Go make friends with people is what we think. And then the other side of our mouth will say, you can't sell to friends. Don't ever try and sell to friends. Just won't work out. Okay. Bullshit. Here's what I'll tell you. What I want you to understand is that friends are great, but you probably already have enough friends at home. My guess is you've got a core group of 3, 5, 10 friends that should be more than enough. If you need more friends than what you have right now and you're struggling with that, go get a dog. So Walker, I got that point. Don't need more friends. But why is that such a problem in sales? Why is having a need for approval, high need for approval, such a problem? Well, if you want people to like you, right? If you want people to like you, it means a couple of things. Everything is personal. Meaning you're afraid to hear a no because that means they're no longer your friends. It means you're afraid to push back, to be skeptical, to really say, I'm not so sure I can help you and believe that if what you're worried about is being friends. It means you're afraid to disqualify them. It means that you don't want the sales cycle ever to end because then the friendship is over. And then when you finally hear no, it hurts your feelings. And then you don't want to call them back in 6 months because they let you down. They hurt your feelings. Bullshit. 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 It is natural and normal to want people to like you. I totally get it. We need to kind of push that down when you're in sales. Here's what I want. Let's kind of redefine that though. Let's not be afraid of what other people think about you. Let's not be afraid of what other people think about you. They're going to like you. They're going to not. You don't control it. What we want to have, right, is we want to build respect. What we want to have is a mutual respect between us. Respect is not something that is earned. Respect is something that is given. And what I want you to think about here is respect can mean being straight up. Respect should mean it's professional, right? We ain't the right fit for y'all. Or you tell me you're not the right fit. I say, look, that's perfectly great. Thank you so much for telling me that. Thank you so much for telling me that. Now we can move on with our lives and not bother each other anymore. And you may not say that out loud, but that's what you can think about, right? You don't want to waste their time. So that's why it's great to be able to disqualify people, to be able not to worry that you didn't buy, so they're not going to be your friend. If you're sitting in your sales call, waiting to get in to meet somebody for the first time, and you're in your head going, oh my gosh, he went to Clemson, I went to Clemson, we can go to football games together. It'll be great. I love this. And then the door opens up and there's your prospect. You know what he's probably thinking or she's probably thinking? Probably not about football games. If it's a real meeting, they're probably wondering, I hope this person can help me. Because not only do you have enough friends, so do they. Keep in mind all the time, some people will, some people won't. So what? Who's next? Who's the next person you talk to? Call those guys back later. Call them back in 90 days. Call them in 6 months. Call them in 9 months. Call them in a year. People's world changes every 90 days. If you're not wrapped up in being their friends, you can be wrapped up in just staying in touch. And you can say, hey, look, it's my job to keep up with people, make sure they're getting the help they need. Is it time for us to have that conversation that it wasn't the right time for a couple of months ago? I'm Walker McKay with No BS Sales. If you're struggling with need for approval, if somebody in your team or all of your team is struggling with need for approval and you want to figure out how do we fix that, I'm happy to talk to you about it. We do that with folks and with teams all the time. Email me, walker@walkermckay.com. If you know somebody that needs to hear this message, send them this podcast. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast.
If you haven't already, please take 1 minute to write a quick review for the show. It really does make a huge difference. Also, subscribe to the show and please forward this episode to somebody else who needs to hear it. As a bonus for listening, I'm going to give you access to a free mini course, 7 expensive sales mistakes you're making and what you can do about it. Go to www.7salesmistakes.com and get access to the free mini course. That's the number 7salesmistakes.com. Thanks again for listening to the OBS Sales School podcast.